the show started. Okay, hey, I'm busy here on my walking pad. I'm walking, baby, I'm walking. It is Friday, April 10th, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here on the West Coast. I am Brannon Beliso, and this is Success Never Sleeps. Thank you, my love. Where we as a collective, we're just trying to figure out this thing called life, right? I believe we should all be able to create successful businesses that provide for us, our family, our retirement, fulfill our dreams, our vacations, and provide us with freedom. Freedom is really what a business should give you. You shouldn't create a job for yourself and you're a terrible boss, but that's a skill set. And hopefully, through the different episodes we offer you of Success Never Sleeps, we can help you achieve that. Today, we're going to be talking about the summer success blueprint that I've kind of followed for years. And some of it I use, some of it I got away from, I'm getting back to. Nonetheless, it's helped us look at summers as to be an amazing time versus dreading summers. And all we can look forward to is back to school. So as you come aboard, say hello, tell us who you are and where you're tuning in from. In the meantime, let's begin by thanking our sponsors. We have Tucson Market Muscles, My Studio, Kids Live Life Skills, LC Accounting, and Kin Creative. All wonderful companies that I'm blessed to work with, that I know the owners personally, and that I would definitely stand on a soapbox and profess the value of who they are, the integrity as people, as well as the companies that they offer. I just got off my group mentoring call, and the one thing I shared with them is we're in a very dynamic environment. And if you're going to succeed as a business, you need to be fluid. You need to be adaptable. You need to be willing to change. And that's really the earmark of many of today's companies. Market Muscles, their websites have evolved so much. My Studio, their CRM system has evolved so much. The work I do with Kin Creative, oh God, digital marketing has evolved so much, right? Think about the time that we wore those padded shin guards. Now we have foam dip. It's changed so much. Even with bookkeeping, you think of LC Accounting, the tax laws change all the time. So to stay on top of that and be aware that that's what it takes, that's what it takes. I understand the romanticism of I teach a 5,000-year-old art and I teach it the way it was originally designed and his teacher taught him. And that's fine. I think it's noble in many, many ways. I think it's romantic, but to remain successful and relevant and profitable in today's world, you have to be able to evolve. You just simply do. And if you live and die by that, I believe you have a better chance of succeeding in your business than not. You with me? But make no mistake, to have a very strong moral compass, integrity, to always do the right thing, honesty, to always tell the truth, gratitude, to be grateful. Operating systems like that, you're willing to pivot and adapt and make those other changes confidently and fluidly because you have yourself rooted in really good moral values that work for you. What my moral values may not be yours, but this is what works for me. And I'm able to make these movements into AI, to the different things that I'm doing. Hey, Bob Poole, Gold Martial Arts. What's happening, sir? So, what do we got coming up? Well, it's Time Live United. 20 people, 4 days. It is a retreat. It's always evolving as we work on the content and change things up. Put the date now. When I release it, I encourage you to book yourself right away. Right away, right away. Why? Because there's only 20 people. And it's unlike anything in our industry. 4 days of personal development, wealth building, systems, staff development, branding, culture, everything it takes to be a successful business owner is something I'm extremely passionate about that. And I encourage you to sign up for that. And then our mentoring group, I love it. We're small, we're mighty, we're good people, just trying to help the small school owner. And that's pretty much our market, the small school owner, get from A to B. Because if I give you advice, with 2 locations, about 1,000 students, a lot of our systems and what we do today would not even apply to you. I think the art of us as a mentor group, not consultants, is in real time. I hear you. I listen. I understand what it's going to take for you to get from 50 to 100, to 100 to 150, 150 to 200. There's different behaviors that have to be there to achieve those goals. And if you're behaving like a school with 500 students right now, not a good choice. But if you're at 50 students and you want to get to 100, start behaving and functioning like a school with 150 students. And you'll get to that 100 mark sooner than later. Everybody with me? Cool. As you come aboard, say hello. I'm not sure who that is, Marco. I don't know that name. Looks like a YouTube name or something. I don't know. So what is everything about today? It's about summertime. Now, I know, and I get this all the time, people look at summers as the worst time to be in the martial arts business, right? Everyone goes on vacation. People put their memberships on hold or they quit, whatever the case may be. And I don't care how you slice or dice it. I'm going to keep charging you, and then I'll add the 2 months that you're on break on the back end. Sure, but when the day's done, you're still losing 2 months of revenue, right? You truly are. So be mindful of that. I think that's a huge misconception when someone says that. I don't allow people to put their memberships on hold. What I will say is if you're gone for a month, I'll tack it on the end of your contract, right? Another month. Either way, you've got a month without being paid. So we don't function that way. If you're gone that long, we just cancel your membership, because I think it's a huge misconception about that. I'm not sure who that is, Michael. I'm not sure if I would view my business that way, because we're a cash-based business, right? Money in, money out. Money in, money out. So I can go, that's a whole nother thing, right? That's a whole nother financially managing your business based upon the dynamics of being a martial arts school and the way our money works. That's a whole nother subject. So we all dread summers, right? People dread summers, and all they do is look forward to back to school, right? Back to school. That's all I hear. I hear a lot of that. I think it's very defeatist, and it requires a huge mindset shift in order to create the opportunities that are there potentially during the summer you may not recognize. So the most obvious one is to do summer day camps. We've all heard that before. The big pushback I get right away, I don't have the space for it. Okay, hold that thought. Maybe you'll type that in there, Marco. I don't have the space for it. That one I've heard a lot, and I'm going to address that one in a minute. Number two, I don't want to burn out my staff. Right? Maybe you can put that in there too, Marco. I don't want to burn out my staff. Number three, I'm not a daycare. All good, well, and fine. Number four, even worse, I do camps from 9 to 1. They're strictly martial arts based. Nobody is coming to that camp but your students. So let's rethink that. I don't have the space for it. Well, guess what? You can easily do half-day camps. Easily do camps from 9 to 3 if your demographic supports it. Now, the majority of our parents are working parents. So we do camps from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. But we have the space for it. It's a designated room. By the time regular classes start, these kids are nice and comfy in a big room, air conditioned, playing Legos and board games and arts and crafts. You know, it's designed that way, but that's how our schools are set up. That is exactly how our schools are set up. You with me? So what you can do, because by, I don't know, the third week, fourth week of the summer, these moms are going nuts. These kids are home, right? All they're thinking about is back to school. You can very easily do a 9 to 1 camp, half-day camp, drop off the kids. We're going to serve them pizza. You know, it's kind of like an extended buddy day. I've seen people do that. They will do those one-off camps for their existing students to do bow staff, things like that. But if you're really going to establish and be really great at summer day camp, you need to become a full camp, right? On the East Coast, they have to do, you know, field trips and stuff. It's just the way it's set up competitively, right? They go to the laser tag place. They go to the movies. They go to the water park. Here, gratefully, we do not have to do field trips. But every day we take the kids to the park. So that could be a whole subject on how to set up that day camp. I'm just telling you, there are ways to make it happen. But you can't do 1 week here, 2 weeks there. Ideally, 10 weeks. That is where people start to earn trust. That's where people see you as credible and an experienced day camp. These one-offs to generate extra revenue during July are inconsistent. You'll never earn that trust that you're after with people, okay? So it's not impossible if you don't have the space. It isn't. I know a lot of schools that I've worked with that do 9 a.m., well, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. and the parents are cool. It works. They're out the door. It works. There was a time, because classes got so small, I put the bags down the middle and we ran it till 6 o'clock because we didn't have the day camp space. And the kids were on one side in day camp, and on the other side was regular classes. And the regular classes were so small, they took up half the mat. I believe where there's a will, there's a way. And summer day camps for us have become a great way to get new students in the fall, great way to introduce kids to the martial arts, and the band played on. Plus, we won't even discuss the revenue behind it. We do the first 12 spots because we only take 36 kids based upon our facility is $450. The next 12 spots is $500. The next 12 spots are $550. Yeah. And so we're a premium camp, but what we promote, which is number one, supported and safe and clean. So parents seek us out because they really believe I need my kid to be safe and supported. And they're not going to get that with 100 freaking kids at the YMCA. So we're very mindful of how we market that camp. And we're able to do it from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. for the working parent that needs that value, right? So I don't think you should eliminate day camps from the table. I think we just need to look at your facility and decide how we can best make it work for you. And I've seen many people do half-day camps. Another great way looking at day camps is you, as the instructor, going to these camps, offering your services, and you can probably get paid for it, but I like to use it as a feeder system where you can go to these camps and do a bully workshop, do a confidence building workshop. All I ask in return is they get to take home this flyer at the end of the day. You with me? So that's another way to do that, or become a designated field trip spot. So every one of these fully packed, successful day camps that do field trips, come to me, and I will do a bully workshop for them. I will do a confidence building workshop, right? So I think that's a great way to start connecting with the other summer day camp programs, because you're completely booked. Send them to me. I'll kick you back 10% of what they pay. See, so there's so many ways to start that and get it going. Even if you don't have the staffing yet, you don't have the money, to buy all the games and all the different things. There's a lot of ways to do that creatively. Because as I always say, what I lack in money, I make up for in creativity. So if you're interested in doing summer day camps, which I highly recommend in some form or another, please DM Marco, DM me, connect with us, and let's make that happen. As you come on board, say hi. Tell me that you're here. I love the school owners we get to work with, and it's always good to know that you are here with me. Now, another one that we do, if you're less than 150 students, I'm going to tell you right now, do a summer special. 3 months and a uniform for $297, whatever you want to do. 3 months in uniform, $399, whatever you want to do. No breaks. You can't put it on hold, and it runs straight from the time you come to your first class. Cool? Super important. I think the only downside, as the con is, you get a lot of people that just do it for the summer. Then you try to tell them your regular price in the fall, and they're sticker shock. But you will get a handful of kids that are really going to love it that will become regular students. So I found that's really, really valuable because people love deals, right? It's not always the best way to start a long-term relationship, but it might be the best way to help fill out some of your classes, right? And it's a great talking point, whether you're running your ads yourself or you're posting it at Nextdoor or Yelp, the different things. Everybody loves a deal of some sort. Right? It's human nature. It's the way they're conditioned. Again, at the end of the summer, the challenge can be sticker shock when they know your regular prices. Or two, I had this one kid who would come every summer, while he was of age. He'd come out on the West Coast to visit his dad. His mom and dad were divorced, and his dad happily put this kid into a martial arts program, happily put this kid into our camps because the dad still had to work, right? That didn't change. So I think that's important. And whether it's day camp or the martial arts classes, I really believe understanding the storytelling that goes on with the summer break is vital. One of it is, did you know that kids lose 2 months of learning during the summer? Well, that's a great one. Enroll them in our life skills martial arts class. We'll keep them book smart all summer long so they hit the ground running when they go back to school. See, that's a great story. I, as a parent, would get behind that. Or the other one is, did you know during the summer, the average kid is on their device 5.1 hours? Whoa, get them off that device. Get them into life. right? It's all about the storytelling and identifying the pain points and how you are the solution. Another great one that worked one summer was, imagine this. Your teen rolls out of bed at about 10 or 11, right? They sit there on their cell phone or playing video games until 1. Then they head down to the mall and just hang out. Is that how you imagine your teenager summer? Right? No. So get them into our kickboxing program, get them in our martial arts. I think the big thing is identifying the pain points and tell those stories and best position your brand, your school, what you do as a solution, right? I'm not talking about back to school in June. It's just the opposite. So again, being mindful at your social media, at your Google, at your website, all of those you should have access to because you want it to be dynamic. I just got this update from Google where they're talking about that. If your last review was 3 years ago, that hurts your ranking. So again, you have to always solicit reviews, get new reviews, get them updated, and they can't be 3 years old, right? That actually, people look at that and they look, hey, let me look at the reviews. Oh, the last one was 3 years ago. That's a bad day. It's a bad day. Okay. So I want you to work on that as well, is understanding that if you're going to do camps and you don't understand the language moms need to hear, like safe and supported, any of those things, it's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Right. So it's understanding it, not doing it as a one-off because you need to make extra money to make rent. No, you do camps because you believe in them. You do camps because they're part of your culture. Because you're going to have to deal with the learning curve and the part where you suffer. I shared that. When I did day camps, I had 7 kids for the first summer. Me and 7 kids for 10 weeks. I was with these kids from literally 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Then I had a high school kid come in and watch them until their parents picked them up, and I rolled right into classes. Yeah, it was hard. It was difficult, but I saw the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. And today, we run camps to the tune of, I think, $250K by the time we're done at the end of the summer. So it's good additional income. It's one that shouldn't be discounted. So we talked about the 3 months in the uniform, right? I think it's standard. Again, you will get a bunch of tire kickers at times. They may never sign up because it's sticker shock, but still worth it, if you're only below 150 students. Highly recommended. Highly recommended. Another one I think that people lose out on, this is a retention thing, is they change their class schedule. Classes are smaller, right, during the summer, so I'm going to consolidate my classes. Do not do that. I'm going to tell you why. I'm that parent. I've been coming every day, Monday at 5 o'clock, Monday at 5 o'clock. All of a sudden I get an email. You must come Tuesday at 6:30. That doesn't cut it. I didn't pay for you to change the schedule on me like that so abruptly during my summer. I want the convenience of my kids' regular class time, especially with 0 months to 18 months. You start making moves like that, they're probably going to quit. You're probably going to lose them. They're going to go on hold and never come back because when I get back in the fall, I don't get my regular class time. So please don't do that, right? And also, you may potentially be cutting the hours of your team. Keep your regular schedule. Have the discipline, suck it up, and you're going to still be servicing your existing clients that aren't on vacation at the time that they're used to, the time that they count on, right? Or even right down to the instructor. So we made that mistake one summer, and we saw the repercussions. The holds, a bunch of people didn't come back, et cetera, et cetera. Even though we said at the end of the summer, back to regular school schedule now, we had already lost them. They were done. They moved on to something else. Cool? You may consider, especially if you live in really, really, really hot neighborhoods, parts of the country, do a morning class. Why? Why do a morning class? Anybody want to tell me? Okay, I'm going to tell you. Because, again, storytelling. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm in the pool with my friends, enjoying summer. How many kids want to get out of a darn pool to go to karate at 5 o'clock? 0. 0, 0, 0. Then it's a waste of my money that you go into karate, so I'm just going to cancel it. Not a good thing. So if you're in, environments like that, you may consider the convenience of adding a morning class. I know it's a little rougher on you, right? But do it if you can. We can't do it because our day camp occupies the facility, until they go to the park at 10 a.m. So we've had that conversation. Maybe we do a 11 o'clock class. Sure. There's different options, but think about that. Just please don't change your schedule where it's going to be inconvenient for your parents. Cool? Everybody got that? All right. Next one, borrowing from Dave Kovar. Love this man, smart man, great operator, just good person. I believe that. He does a thing called Summer of Excellence. Fundamentally, what happens is every time you come to a class, you get a ticket, right? Every time you come to a specialty event, weapons workshop, whatever, you get 3 tickets. You come to that specialty event and bring a friend? Oh man, that's never been in our school. You get an extra 5. Have a buddy week, right? A buddy week. Bring your friend to karate class, right? Moms love it. They drop both kids off for 45 minutes. They walk down the street, get a Jamba Juice or have a Starbucks, right? That's another one. You get 5 tickets for bringing a friend to class that week. All of these type of cultural retention events that not only add value, right? Because they come to class all the time. No big deal. But if I come to class, I get a ticket and it goes into this big, ballot thing that sits there and it's filling up and filling up. Kids love it. At the end of class, they're all sitting there getting their ticket and filling it out. And it's fun. And then at the end of the summer, right, in August, we have a family fun day. And at the family fun day, we will do a drawing. And that drawing could be for a PS5. I think in today's world, a $300 gift certificate to a local supermarket would probably go a long way for some families. Things like that, right? Things like that. And then you have this big drawing. Yeah, it creates a really good buzz because it's not normal. You don't normally come to class and earn a ticket that at the summer you can get a prize for. See, and of course, the more tickets you earn, the better chances are of winning, correct? Yeah, absolutely. So you'll find people want to come. But if you don't have a calendar that's rich with retention events, then, I would go back and visit that. We kind of fell off the wagon during the pandemic with that. But now we have January, we didn't have one because it was the beginning of the year. February, we did a Valentine's Parents Night Out, again, free to all our members. March, we did a St. Patty's Family Fun Day, free to all our members. We just did our egg hunt, free to all our members. Mom and me's coming up in May. Dad and me's coming up in June. We'll figure something out for July and August, right? And then, of course, in the fall, we have Halloween. We have Christmas time. A lot of great stuff goes on, right? So retention events are vital. It's added value. If I give you $1 and you give me $500 worth of value, that helps my retention. Same thing here. The yin to the yang of that, I think it often hurts people when they nickel and dime people and you got to yell about, now you must buy these 5 weapons and a new uniform. I think that hurts our retention. People would say it doesn't, but I believe it does. I'm on a budget. You nickel and dime me. I'm already paying you premium dollar, $279 a month, and now you want to do that. I don't believe in it. It doesn't work for us. It's something we don't advocate for. Cool? So think about that, right? The Summer of Excellence, beautiful thing, a lot of fun. Don't change your schedule, great. Add some morning classes, great. Consider summer day camp, great, right? So what else should I be doing? Well, I think summer is a great time, especially if you have that downtime, is to really start looking at systems that need to be rewritten. Revamp your curriculum videos. Oh, I don't have curriculum videos. Maybe it's time to start doing that, right? Take a look at your website. Take a look at your processes. It's a great time. There's always something that needs to be done. I remember when a school owner said to me, you and Roland Osborne say you work 15-hour days. What do you do for 15 hours? I'm like, man, there's not enough hours in the day. What are you talking about, right? What are you talking about? I think that one of the biggest misconceptions is you believe when you open up a martial arts school, you're going to simply teach. No, because now you're in the martial arts business. It's quite the opposite. Great book to read is called E-Myth by Michael Gerber. And he uses the simple example. You're a baker. You love to bake. So you open up a bakery. Well, guess what? You are not simply baking anymore. You are hiring. You are firing. You're probably doing your own books, right? You're ordering supplies. You're budgeting. You're doing your social media, right? You're probably the janitor in the beginning too, right? You're doing all of it. And you discover, wow, I'm not just baking anymore. It's the same thing here. You do not simply teach classes, right? You're returning lead calls. You're figuring out ways to market. You're hoping you're starting to build a team. You're working on a brand. There's so many different elements that go into running a successful business. And that summertime, right? where people are sitting on a pity pot going, poor me, summers suck. You can work on what you're in control of. I cannot control people putting their memberships on hold, right? Oh man, that after school, when we sit there in June and all those after schoolers, we lose 35 students and we watch our active count drop, right? Because they're gone for the summer. Well, I'm not in control of that. That's going to happen every year when after school ends. What I am in control of is trying to get these after schoolers to sign up for day camp. What I can do is put incentives in place so these after schoolers are already committed to the fall, right? With a first month's down payment or something of that nature. So I think it's really important in small business because we are subject to so many things in the climate that we're in that we're not in control of, right? You aren't in control of people leaving during the summer. You simply are not. I believe this summer, though, with the way things are, that a lot more people are going to be staying home, right? Right now, the economy is tough. There's a lot of things going on the world stage that are very challenging. We don't even mention airfare prices with the price of petrol, right? Airplane fuel. So I think summer's going to be really, really good for us if we position ourselves that way. And you still have time, right? You still have time. And somebody said, well, when you started camps, what did you do? I did whatever it took. You're going to bring your brother's free, right? You pay full, your brother's free. Bring a friend. Anything, you just simply want to fill that camp, let them experience who you are, right? So when the time comes and you starting premium and you fill it out, everything changes. So I think that's the big thing that almost paralyzes people during the summer. That for me is a huge challenge, is that they don't do anything during the summer but whine and moan and complain, and they're stuck and they hate summers and summers suck. They can't wait for back to school. Again, I think the key to being successful is always asking yourself, what can I do versus what I can't do? Instead of fixating on people going on hold, fixate on creating a new student special for the summer, right? Fixate on getting people to actually come to class with the summer of excellence. Fixate on, here's an opportunity. There's no summer camp in the middle of, October. So utilize that summer and start creating that summer camp vehicle. Because I think also generating revenue is the multiple revenue streams that come with it. That's why, you'll see the unicorn in our business who has one martial arts school, doesn't do day camp, doesn't do after school, doesn't do any of that. And they've got 500 strictly martial arts school and they're making $1 million a year. I believe that's a unicorn. I truly do. I think general as a whole, having multiple revenue streams in your school is very important. But for our culture, that revenue stream is not upgrading you to the master's club, the black belt club, the leadership club. Everybody flies first class in my school. And I learned that from Southwest, right? Everybody flies the same. And Southwest is one of the biggest airlines out there now, right? They simply are. So again, culturally, what does that mean to you? Do you want it to be an upgrade? Fine. But make that decision on how that summer can fill out. Don't sit there paralyzed, complaining and moaning, sitting there looking out the window for August. Please don't do that. And that to me is, I think, the biggest detriment I witness all the time with instructors. With martial arts school owners. So again, lead generating events, you could start that. People say, well, it's summertime, nobody cares. Well, here's a great one. We do a thing called the kindergarten meet and greet. Write it down. Write it down. The kindergarten meet and greet. And what that fundamentally is, the schools are closed, right? The schools are closed. So the PTA, they can't get in there to do an event where they bring all the, kindergarten or transitional kindergarten, they call them TK, all together. So guess what? You should right now be reaching out to all of the PTA presidents of the different elementary schools, even the principals, and say, hey, we have a very unique opportunity. Every summer, we open our facility for what we call a kindergarten meet and greet. This will give an opportunity for the PTA to announce themselves and introduce themselves to the incoming TK and kinder parents and kids. It'll give them an opportunity to connect. We run these different games that allow them to connect and get to know one another, the parents, and it's just such, and now we have the elementary schools reaching out to us And in July, we do them all in July. We'll do 3 of them. We have 3 elementary schools here. All 3, we do this kindergarten meet and greet at our facility. Yeah, see, I mean, when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade, folks. And I can't express that enough. But I understand it's extremely overwhelming. And that's why working with our mentoring group, watching this show, but you got to take action, right? And like I said to one client, if it doesn't fit your moral compass and you can't stand day camps, you're just going to poop all over them. So please don't do them. But if you genuinely believe it fits your culture, it fits what you want to do, it's what you're all about, then it's a good day. Cool? So the kindergarten meet and greet, what else we have going on? Well, for us, Labor Day weekend is huge at the Millbrae location because right outside our door is the Art and Wine Festival, and we have all the kids' rides. Now, we don't do demos because demos, I've learned, take up a lot of time. It's really hard to get kids out on a Thursday night to do a basketball thing at halftime. Culturally, can it be a fun event? Absolutely. But this, we do a demo. There's a children's stage that we get up there and the parents love it. The kids love it. It doesn't bite into their whole life and schedule. Make no mistake. I say this from experience. There was a time I had a full-on demo team and they were somewhere every month and it was very time consuming. It was costing money because we were feeding everyone because we thought it was uncool for the parent to have to devote all their time to this. But we do a demo for the Art and Wine Festival. People love it. We feel the buzz in mid-July, early August when we start doing demo practices. People are getting excited. They're coming back from vacations, wanting to sign up for the demo team. So for culturally, it's such a good day. 2, we deck it out. The front of the school, we have the cotton candy machine, a coloring station. We even let the Millbrae boosters set up their stuff and sew t-shirts for the athletic boosters. So it's this real community vibe and people know us. There's music going, bubble machines, people come hang out, get free cotton candy. It's just such a good cultural event for us. And of course, it builds the momentum for back to school, signing up for our after school pickup program, enrolling in martial arts classes. So that event after the Labor Day weekend really sets the precedent for an amazing September for us all the way around. So you want to look for events like that during the summer. Where can I do a booth? They're everywhere. Farmers markets, craft fairs, they're everywhere. And they don't care. You're paying for a booth, right? You're paying for this booth, so they don't care. Let me turn this off. Man, I just walked like 3 miles with all the meetings I took this morning. And so those type of events are important. So our cotton candy machine will be in Movie in the Park. Our park here in Millbrae, all summer long, they're doing movies every Friday. So we donate the cotton candy machine as needed, right? That's a big one. We're sponsoring teams during the summer, Little League teams, right? Soccer teams, different things like that. That is important to us as well. Community presence is vital. And summertime is a great opportunity for that because the Park and Rec, the AYSO, all these different things, right? The American Youth Soccer Organization, they're all creating these different summer events because the kids are out of school, right? You want to go a step deeper? Man, there were times, especially in Millbrae, I didn't want the school to be empty. So it wasn't uncommon on a Sunday afternoon to say, hey guys, bring a pizza, some potluck, watching the 49er game in the activity room and the kids can play on the front mat. It really is about leveraging that things you can do during the summer versus what you can't. And what does that cost you? Rent is rent. If everybody brings something to the potluck and you're just playing something on the TV, that's a good day. That's a very good day. So that's a big one too for us. And then as I shared, I'm a huge advocate, and I'm going to say it again because I think it's very important that you focus on what you can do versus what you can't do. And when school owners go, well, everybody's gone and nobody this and nobody that, you start to fall into what's called a victim mindset. Write it down. Victim mindset, right? I don't spend energy on what I can't impact. I spend my energy and time on what I can. So we talked about another big one we just discovered, and you guys might like this. The Boy Scout, Girl Scouts, from what I understand, now have a martial arts badge. We had a troop reach out to us and say, we need to earn our martial arts badge. Tell us more. Well, the martial arts badge, they have to do stranger danger, confidence, bullying, learn martial arts moves, and break a board. There's like 4 or 5 different things they have to do to earn this badge. So we opened up our facility and did one. Hopefully, they're going to tell another troop and another troop and another troop, right? They see somebody, hey, you got your martial arts badge. How did you get that? Well, One Martial Arts offered their facility for free, and they did this for us. It's a great feeder system. It's a great way to get people to sign up for martial arts. You with me? So kindergarten meet and greet, Boy Scout, Girl Scouts, booths, an event like the Art and Wine Festival. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. And summertime is a lot easier to get the demo team out, right? Because they're out of school. And as long as they're not on vacation, then they'll definitely have more opportunities and time to do the demo team. Yeah, and I think that's one of the huge shifts is we want people to train martial arts 6 days a week, 6 hours a day, tournaments every other weekend like I did. Now, the average school, your competition team is probably about 10% of your student base. So I just want to make sure whatever I'm doing in my school doesn't impact my main source of income, which is martial arts classes. Thus, why we only take 36 kids into after school or camp. I don't want it to impinge upon our martial arts school because that is our bread and butter. That is where year-round we generate most of our revenue, with the exception of the summer months. So please, when you design what you choose to do, it has to fit your moral compass. It has to fit the culture of your school. It has to fit the brand. People know culturally they come to One Martial Arts to sponsor their Little League team. People know we'll be out there for the Art and Wine Festival slinging cotton candy and have the demo team. People know that they can come to us and hang things on our community bulletin board. People know that. And the more they know that consistently, you earn their trust. And as you earn their trust, that's where the magic happens. People spend a lot of money for the things they believe in. People spend a lot of money for the relationships they trust. Thus, I'm going to reiterate why I am not into one-offs. Oh, it's the end of the month. I need to make money. How do I get 10 new students? Then you sling this Hail Mary pass, and it just makes your business look inconsistent, insecure, and it doesn't promote trust. I would rather have 2 weeks and a t-shirt for $29 consistently for, a couple of months straight versus just slinging it at the, last hour on a Friday because I can't make rent. That's just bad business. And you need to go back and visit how you have your business set up structurally and make those corrections. Cool. All right. That's a mouthful, right? Anybody not say hello? Say hello. Let me know that you're here. So let's start with our big takeaways today. What are your big takeaways? Put them in the comments. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. But summertime to me is a unique opportunity. I used to dread summers like everybody else, but fortunately now we look forward to summers in a unique way. It's simply a mindset shift. The ability to adapt, the ability to change is really your key to being relevant and your key to sustain success because things change constantly. They simply do. And I think what hurts us as an industry is when we say I teach a 5,000-year-old art, I teach it the way my teacher taught my teacher and teacher and teacher and teacher, and this is the way it always has been. This is the way it always will be. Children are learning a lot differently today than they were pre-pandemic. People's self-defense needs are a lot different than they were 10 years ago. And if we can recognize that, the potential for us is unlimited. So what are our big takeaways? Any today? Put them in the comments. I would love to hear them. Cool. All right. We got lit out a little early today, Marco. That's going to be a good thing. There's just, I think what you might lack in money, you can make up for in creativity. And again, don't hesitate. Figure it out. If it's hot where you're at, you got one of the best air conditionings in the community, leverage that on a Sunday afternoon, and do a dodgeball thing for kids and the parents get to sit, hang out and drink sweet tea. Whatever the case may be, you have this facility. And if we only limit it to martial arts classes, I think we're really going to suffer, right? Even if you're in 1,400 square feet, you're really going to suffer if you simply teach martial arts and that's the beginning, middle, and end. No, it's really about creating a community, a unique community that people can count on and gravitate towards and rely on that helps fuel it. And I believe martial arts classes are just one of those legs, right? There is day camps. There is workshops. There is the Summer of Excellence. There is all those different things that add up to a successful business. Cool. All right. So let's start by thanking our sponsors, Marco. Who do we have? Tucson Market Muscles, My Studio, Kids Love Life Skills, LC Accounting, and Kin Creative. All people I work with, all people I trust. And if you want to know about any of these services, just DM me. You're looking for a CRM system? My Studio. You need to run Facebook ads, Google, Instagram, Kin Creative. You want bookkeeping? Talk to my sister. You want a life skills? Oh, you better have life skills, right? They come for the kicking and punching. They stay for the life skills. Kids love life skills. Tucson, we buy the majority of all our uniforms and stuff from them. Our website is with Market Muscles. Cool. All right, it's time group mentoring. People I love. We're small but mighty, and I think we're doing really good work. I realized that today in the call that I was on, that we are doing special work. Unfortunately, we are a small group. So if you want that good one-on-one attention, we're not consultants, we're mentors. We're with you 24/7, 365. Please consider giving us a DM call, and we'll happily talk to you about that. Cool? All right. It's Time Live United, right, Marco? I can't wait for that. Every year in November, we do 4 days together. And it's such a, to me, it's like not an aha moment. It really is so important to my personal development and growth. We've done it for 9 years. This one is called United because I really believe we're in a state, not just the world, but in the martial arts industry, we have these small groups, these different factions, and I don't think it's helping. I think it creates these very niche audiences. And if overall all martial arts schools function from a set of standards, we would all be better off. But today, that's not the case. So the theme is United, and it's one that I'm going to cultivate content that really promotes unity with your students, with your team, with the community, and of course, with the martial arts industry at large. When you see the sign up, I encourage you to get signed up right away. Where can you find me? Man, you can see this podcast, Success Never Sleeps, 10 years. It's been like a decade. I can't believe it. YouTube, Spotify, Amazon, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, iHeartRadio. You can find us everywhere. Go back, listen to these episodes, and I believe you'll get a lot out of it to better your business. Cool? Yeah. And for everything else, go to brannonbeliso.com. All right. I want to thank Marco for holding down the fort as always. Those of you who chose to hang out with us, I appreciate you. And I value you very much. I'm Brannon Beliso. This is Success Never Sleeps. Until we talk again, please go out there and live your best life.